last week was a really challenging week. Really challenging week. So we had a situation where we've had a van wrote off, which took about 2 or 3, sorry, about probably 5 weeks to get it wrote off. But unfortunately, when it got wrote off, what we wasn't aware of was that it took time for them to pay out. So we went out and purchased a van, got the van, great. And then obviously we then didn't realise that we were already in the process of buying another van, and we didn't realise that we'd have to buy 2 vans because we'd only initially thought, well, we're buying another van because we're growing, so we end up buying 2 vans. So long story short, we had to find the money for 2 vans. Now I do it a little bit differently. I tend to buy the vans outright, and then I then lease them back to the company to get the money back out of them, and then go again when they have a residual value when I'm ready to do it. So that tends to how I tend to do it. So on the next van that we're purchasing, that's a brand new van, and that's coming, it's still on the ship at the minute. I think that's due in the next week or so. When we get that van, I'm not so sure I'm going to do that. I might do it differently and finance it, so put a deposit down and do what everybody else seems to be doing. I've never done that, so it's something new, but I think it will help the cash flow. Anyway, going back to the nightmares, so we've picked this new van up. We're driving it down to get it checked over because it's not a brand new van. So when I buy the Ford Transit Customs, I tend to get a new wet belt fitted to them. If they are older than 2 years and they've got low mileage and they don't need a wet belt, I'll still get them changed. So anyway, Mick sets off in his van. He's driving down the road not less than 9 mile. A lady on a push bike come flying down the road. He was stationary, didn't see him, bashed straight into the side of the van and caused substantial damage to the side of the van. Luckily, this lady was okay. I did offer to get her an ambulance. To me, she should have got an ambulance, but she was insistent that she didn't. She looked like she broke her nose because had blood coming out of her, and her eye was all swollen, her face was all swollen, but she was so insistent. So anyway, luckily, she wasn't too serious, but I think what was happening is that she's come flying down the street, someone was in front of her, she's come round him and just not been able to stop, and then just gone straight inside of the van. So we then had to take that to the sprays, and that's just been painted. We just had that painted. So what I'm saying is that the van that got wrote off, we've replaced that van. We've now got the hire van, so we're ready to send the hire van back off. Now we've got another van that now is off the road, so we have to get another hire van because we took another engineer on and passed one of the vans to the other engineer. So Jake, who used to work at our company for years, he left and went on his own. He's come back for us now. He's working back for us full time. So we took him back, so we had another van issue. So kind of last week was like, are you joking, mate? Everything was going nightmares. And then to top it all off, the wet belt that I'm just talking about went on Wesley's van, which wrote the engine off pretty much. So we then had to take that to get the engine fixed and sorted out. So we had all these unexpected costs that had come in that I'd not realised about. So I found it so stressful. It was really stressful. Anyway, we got through that. So all these things that happen in a company that people have got companies thinking, is it only me it happens to? No, it isn't only you guys it happens to. It's constant. This is a constant situation that we're under. So what I've decided to do is keep a van just for a spare van. So we've got a spare van that we can use if we've got a faulty van or something like that, because we're getting to that stage now where we've got quite a few in the team, and I'm pretty certain we're probably going to have to get a member of the team just to fit in for when people are off as well, because we're getting to that point where we're trying to deliver to customers. But obviously the bigger we're getting, the more things that just go wrong, and they say it comes in threes. We've had it in about sixes. So to combat that, we've taken on 2 more engineers. We've also taken on 2 more apprentices, and also we're looking at taking on another fully qualified engineer. So that allows, for instance, Wes to come more and help me, Gaz to come off a little bit and help on the quoting, because that's another thing. We've got the quoting, we've kind of got that split now, so that's helping me a lot because it's allowing me to work on the business. But as today's happened, we've got Mayor off, Jess off, and Sandra off. So there's only me in the office, which has been hellish, because the phones have not stopped ringing. However, Sandra's at home helping me on the phones. What's happened is a couple of people have gone off sick at the wrong time of holiday season, and Jess has had her holiday booked. So unfortunately, it's made me... Oh, my head's fell off, to be fair, this morning. I actually remember how difficult it is being in the office and answering all the calls and keeping everybody satisfied. I've had the help off Sandra, which has been great, though. So all the things that I've been talking about is basically, when you've got a company and you're out there and you're thinking, bloody hell, is it just me, or is it always going wrong? It's not that it's always going wrong. I think it's just how it is. So I was always trying to have the perfect company, trying to be the best in the area, which I still think we are. We've got some really good competition that disagree. but I still think we're the original Bolton's number one in the area. So ultimately, all the stuff that we're doing is continuous. It's always continuous. So the only way I can combat it is by taking more team members on. So at the minute, we're currently looking for somebody that could come into the company, help out with the leads and the social media side of things, and sit in the back and run the social media side, help out, answer calls. Just a bit of an all-rounder, but somebody that's really positive. So if there's anybody out there, give us a shout. I'm definitely looking for that, and I would like someone to start ASAP because we're coming up towards the winter, and that'll be helping out with the social sides, booking the leads, qualifying the leads, making sure the customers are okay, just basically taking the workload off the girls at the minute who are involved in the operations, etc. It's just we could do with a valid member of the team. So if there's anybody out there looking, just get in contact with us. That'd be great. Just at the moment, over the next 12 months, we're trying to grow to, this is the targets, to around about 2 million. That's the target. And then over the whole plan, 3 to 5. That is a really big target. I know it's achievable, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get to those figures. Nothing to do with making more money for me, just for me to be able to come off the business, work completely on the business, and actually have some time off, because I've not really got into this, but I'm going to explain now. In last April, not the April just gone, the April before, I've had these rashes that are on my skin and on my body that's really irritable and affecting my quality of life. I've had lack of sleep. I've had problems going on with my immune system for quite some time, probably 10 years, and it's progressively got worse and worse and worse. So on April, I think it was around about the 23rd, 2023, I ended up getting rushed into hospital. My heart stopped, I had a convulsion, and it was anaphylactic shock that caused it. Then after that, it found out I had issues with AFib, and I've been put on a lot of drugs. Since then, I've had about 4 attacks. I'm under the doctor to find out what's wrong with me. There is something wrong with me, but we don't know what it is. But it has reduced the quality because I'm always, itchy and scratchy. It sounds awful, that, doesn't it? But that's how it is. So I'm taking pills on the daily to make sure that it's okay. So what it's made me realise is that I really need to have a team in place that I can trust, that can do the business and help me grow the business, so that it'll allow me to work on the business. Because I do believe some of this is possibly stress related. So anybody out there that understands what I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure there's a few of you that are in my situation. A lot of it is stress related. I think the doctors are saying it could be, they're not sure what it is. They think it's possibly more an allergy or an immune disorder, but I am having tests now for that, and we're kind of getting somewhere because we're ruling out stuff. It's affected me with sleep as well, because I'm on a hell of a lot of antihistamines and drugs that make me feel tired than a normal person. I seem to feel the effects of alcohol more, so I've had to be careful with that. So all these things are growth for me. People said to me, "You're mad because it's nothing to do with that. If I can get a team doing it, and then I can watch over it, and then I can get a buzz and a vibe within this company, I'll be able to do less and less." I don't mean less and less as the fact of doing less in the company. I mean doing more of the fun stuff, getting the work, talking to the team, making sure, directing, being a creator. That's why I did the podcasts about 2 years ago, and now you know why I stopped them, because I became poorly and I couldn't do it. I was really gutted, to be fair, because I'm still quite new to this, and I really like talking, and I'm trying to get better at speaking. A couple of people on the YouTube channel have given me some really good pointers. When I've been doing the podcasts with guests, I've been interrupting them. I've said this to Brad, who's filming this, I do interrupt. I need to stop doing that. So I have had some good positive feedback off people. Thanks very much for that, guys, and anything else you can help me with that you spot, I'd like you to point it out so I can improve on that. So I'm trying to learn to not cut people off in the middle of the conversations, and once I've mastered that, you'll all see it. But yeah, it's been great. I wish I'd have carried on doing this, because this is stuff I like doing. I like educating people about companies. I like educating people about what's going on. I also like educating the customers to know that we're not actually, if we can't get to them, or there usually is an issue, it's nothing to do with the fact that we're pulling the wool over our eyes, because I know a lot of people do that. We're actually telling the truth when we say we can't make it. Something's come up, and I know it isn't the customer's fault, that our problem, and I know it's our problem, but what we're trying to do is create a team so that if we do have them problems, we've got backup. Because at the minute we're still understaffed. We have a funny business. Anybody that does the eating industry will know. I was listening to a podcast the other day. They'd had issues where they've got engineers now. The service and maintenance and breakdown teams, they seem to be always busy. That's always always coming in, but it's the installation lads. If you've got installers that are doing installations, when it hits summer months, you can tend to drop down on the installations. So you can have a crazy month. You know, I can look at statistics and figures where it shows July ridiculously busy, August ridiculously busy. So I can't really find the pattern on that, because that's year on year. So I don't know. I genuinely know from May up to September, it's slower than it normally is throughout the season. So we've been doing air conditioning. You'll see videos that we're doing on that. We've been explaining about the importance about using qualified people, qualified electricians, qualified air conditioning, qualified gas safe, qualified Offtech registered businesses. I'm sure everybody out there that's an engineer listening to this will agree with that. Multi-skilled lads are great, fantastic. Again, that's another good thing. If you can find a lad that can do everything, that's brilliant. But we've kind of looked at every single point of the business and thought, you know, how can we improve on it? What can we do to make it improve? And I think it all boils down to really hard work, dealing with the problems as they come in, and just accepting that you're not going to get on top of this, especially if you're growing. It's always going to be growth becomes more problems. The problems need solutions. So we're kind of looking at speaking to the team, saying, look, these are problems. I know it's stressful, but let's just turn them into solutions rather than looking at the problem. Let's look at the solution. So just changing the mindset really of how I think and how, you know, the daily grind gets on people. So I think one of the major daily grinds I have is this condition, which you'll probably notice I'm quite fidgety and movable, and it's down to my body is very irritable basically. I'm doing well with it. I've got a good support network around me, so you know it's not too bad. But like for instance, in the mornings on Mondays now, I can have the morning off because Wes will come in and help me out with that. That's been a really good godsend, because if I'm working on a Saturday, it allows me to have a longer weekend with family, etc. So that's been another godsend. So now, what I was trying to say is the reason why we're going to go bigger is not necessarily for profit. Obviously, that's nice, that comes with it. It's legacy, growth, and also allowing me to become a director and think about the business, work on the business rather than continuously in the business. So that's what we've been doing over the last 18 months, training people, getting them in. You know, there has been problems with training, problems with opinions and stuff, but it's just trying to get everybody on that same opinion, and I think it's working now. I think we're just finally getting there. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some more tears and hot and sweating on the way, but ultimately we're just working on it at a pace. We've got a growth plan. We're not going to go too big too quick, because I've done that and that sometimes doesn't work. And we're not going to take people on just for the sake of it if we're busy. We're going to look at engineers that fit within the company. We're going to look at apprentices that fit within the company. We're going to look at office. And like I mentioned, the person that could come on the leads with me, we're going to look if they're the right fit, because that's the most important thing. Because when you're working with the general public, it's different than working on sites. So I think we're finding the team. I think we've got the interviewing process down a lot better now as well. So I hope some of this has been useful, and I hope you keep following us. And if you've got any tips and advice, just drop it in and let me have a nosy, and I'll have a look at it. I've really appreciated your support. I want to get more subscribers, so don't forget like and subscribe. Take care, and I'll be in contact with you all soon.